Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday, April 5th. A very active weather pattern continues here in the northeastern part of the country. We had a very strong cold frontal system that passed through the I-95 corridor region during the midday hours on Wednesday. It generated some wind gusts of 50 miles per hour or so during the afternoon and early part of the evening. Much colder air moved in the overnight hours down to near freezing in most parts of the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor by this morning. And now there are some snow showers showing up on radar. And this active pattern will continue right through the early to middle part of next week. Not only do we have the snow showers to contend with this morning, could be a bit of a mess tomorrow morning with a rain-snow mixture, especially north of the Mason-Dixon line. And then accumulating snow is a possibility still in the I-95 corridor region from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City. That for Saturday could be affected by another storm system in the early to middle part of next week. First of all, let's take a look at the radar loop. This is from the College of DuPage weather website. Notice some snow bands here in east central Pennsylvania moving from the northwest to the southeast. All of these snow bands moving from the northwest to the southeast in that overall flow of air out of the northwest. These could affect the northern suburbs of Philadelphia over the next hour or two. And also, down near D.C., there's some snow bands starting to show up in the eastern panhandle region of West Virginia. They could move into the western suburbs of D.C. over the next few hours. Definitely a brisk and cold day for Washington, Philadelphia, New York City. It happens to be the home opener this afternoon for the Nationals in Washington and for the Phillies at Citizens Bank Park in South Philadelphia. Both areas will experience un-baseball-like weather, well below normal temperatures and brisk winds going right into the afternoon hours. And again, all areas in the I-95 corridor could see some scattered flurries and maybe even a snow shower or two over the next couple of hours. More numerous snow bands in the higher elevation regions of upstate Pennsylvania, for example, and southern New York. Well, again, not only do we have the snow showers to contend with this morning, but there could be a messy situation early tomorrow with a combination of rain and snow that could even leave a coating or so in some parts of the mid-Atlantic region, especially north of the Mason-Dixon line. And then the accumulating snow threat continues for Saturday in the I-95 corridor. Let's take a look at last night's 0Z NAM computer forecast run. This is the 12-kilometer version of the NAM. First of all, quite a bit of energy all across the northern part of the country. We'll walk through these maps in 1 hour increments. Again, these maps are from tropicaltidbits.com. And here we go. We'll just kind of track what happens up across the northern plains. Lots of energy here. By later today, we'll see some kind of a vigorous upper level feature dropping into the northern plains. And that is kind of a clipper-like system here that will drop tomorrow southeastward rapidly across the Great Lakes region, and it'll push in some rain and snow showers. Again, that mixture can lead to a coating of snow, especially north of the Mason-Dixon line late tonight, early tomorrow. Later tomorrow, it'll actually become much milder in D.C., Philadelphia, and New York City. But again, there could be a little bit of a mess early tomorrow morning, especially north of the Pennsylvania-Maryland border. Then by tomorrow night, we'll notice an area of energy here starting to show up here in the south-central U.S. And what happens, that low-pressure system tomorrow drags a cold frontal system through the I-95 corridor that tends to stall out just to the south and east. A wave of low pressure will form in the south-central part of the country and ride right along that frontal boundary zone from the southwest to the northeast, likely throwing some accumulating snow into the I-95 corridor. Now that precipitation could very well begin as rain or a wintry mix and then change over to snow. And of course that timing will dictate how much snow falls in the I-95 corridor. Here we are by early Saturday morning. A wave of energy right here set off the development by this time of low pressure that rides right along that stalled out frontal boundary zone that comes through the region late tomorrow. And that will drag in some even colder air, and very impressively cold air for this time of the year. I mean, this particular next couple of days we'll see some really some phenomenal temperatures for April. Places up in the upper Midwest, for example, are experiencing some of the coldest weather they've ever seen in the month of April. And on Saturday here in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, we'll be easily 20 degrees below normal for this time of the year. Quite an impressive wave of energy here by Saturday night, early Sunday morning, and that intensifies as it continues to move, by this time, off the coastline, and then we'll have to look upstream, and there could be another system to deal with early or middle part of next week. Well, let's now walk through the surface forecast maps, again using the 0Z NAM run, these maps from tropicaltidbits.com. Some snow bands showing up here. This is early Thursday morning, actually not picking up some of those snow bands down across Pennsylvania and West Virginia, but they're certainly there. We just looked on the radar, and let's just keep moving forward here. These are in hourly increments. A dry day for the most part during the afternoon hours here for the Phillies and Nationals home opener. That high pressure system moves off the coast, and then snow associated with that clipper-like system that drops southeastward across the Great Lakes, and a little bit of snow rain mix could develop towards morning here in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and maybe even a little bit of a coating of snow in areas north of the Pennsylvania-Maryland border. It then becomes much milder during the afternoon on Friday. High temperatures probably up in the 50s. That low pressure area then drags a cold front through the I-95 corridor. This is now the Friday evening forecast map. Notice a lot of precipitation here starting to form over the south central U.S. That frontal system will stall out across southern Virginia, and a wave of low pressure will ride right along that frontal boundary zone into that increasingly cold air. And again, precipitation late Friday night into early Saturday morning could start as rain or a wintry mix, but ultimately, as that low pressure area drives to the south and east of the I-95 corridor, it should get cold enough for snow, and accumulating snow is certainly a possibility in at least parts of the I-95 corridor. Purple here representing a mixture of sleet or freezing rain, and snow is indicated in blue, and ultimately becomes cold enough for all snow in certainly from the immediate I-95 corridor to points north and west. And exactly when that timetable, the changeover will occur, will dictate how much snow falls. But again, the threat continues for accumulating snow in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and again, the greatest chance in all of those areas will be in the northwest side of the big cities. And as with any storm late in the season or early in spring, as we are right now, elevation will play a role. Higher elevation locations more apt to get accumulating snow compared to nearby lower elevation locations. By the way, there are reports that D.C. has not had an inch of snow in the month of April since 1924. So if in fact they can squeeze out an inch at National Airport, Reagan National Airport in D.C., that would be kind of historic. It would be the first time in almost 100 years for an inch or more of snow in Washington. So a lot going on here. Very active weather pattern continues right into the middle part of next week. Stay tuned to VencoreWeather.com for updates later today. That's it for now. I'm meteorologist Paul Orion.